Hi, I'm Dana and I'm a reseller on Poshmark, and today is a from sold to shipped video. It's from Sunday through Monday, February 21st through the 27th, and I'll start by sharing my sales from Monday through Thursday on my laptop. Okay, this first item is this really pretty Free People blouse. It is black with ruffles and lace. It sold for $32 and I listed it for $40. And after fees, which are Poshmark fees of 20%, and my cost of goods, which is $1.50 because I got it from my Goodwill bins, I earned $24.10. So this next item that sold was this American Eagle soft pink cotton V-neck crop sweater. And I had this for a really long time and it had a bunch of likes. So pretty much what that told me was it was priced a little too high. So I did keep dropping the price down, and I finally listed it at $25 and I got an offer for $14. And my latest strategy is to accept offers that are 50% of my asking price or higher. So I accepted the $14, and after fees and cost of goods, I earned $8.05. So these Madewell jeans, I actually recently went to the Goodwill store and I purchased a few items and I found these Madewell jeans. So I went ahead and picked these up. They cost me $9 and they sold, I would say they sold like within a day. So they sold very quickly for my full asking price of $60. And so I finally made $39. So this is a really good pickup for me. So this next item are these vintage Levi's silver tab baggy jeans. And I got these at the bins probably about a month or so ago. And I decided to cross-list this on Depop. And it sold for my full asking price of $50. And let's see, Depop's fees are 10%. And then I also had to pay $7.05 for shipping because I offer free shipping. So after all the fees, shipping, and cost of goods, I made $34.61. So this next item that sold was this really, really pretty Sue Wong slip dress. And it was a maxi, so full length, and it had all these really pretty rosebud appliques and beading. And it was a really good size. It was size 12. Let me see if I can show you the video. It just helps. Just because it was a little bit hard to see because it was so long, I couldn't, really zoom in on things. So it, let's see, what did it sell for? I'm looking it up. So I listed it at $100 and it sold for $65. And after fees and cost of goods, I made $50.50. So it did take a little while to sell. I would say maybe about 3 months. So this next item is this Maeve really pretty blouse. It had these really great flutter sleeves, and it also had sort of this white sequins applique. Show you the back, the detail of the applique. I listed it for $25 and it sold for $20. And after fees and cost of goods, as well as discounted shipping, I made $13. And this one actually, let's see, it took me a long time to list because I had to make a repair to it. One of those little cords in the back had broken off. So I had to, restitch it back on. So after I did that, it probably sold in about a week. So the next item to sell was this Boston Trader black and white plaid shacket, and it had a hood in had a hood on it, as well as it was quilted on the inside. So it was pretty substantial, and it was really well made. And I listed it for, I actually listed this pretty high for $50, and somebody came with an offer of $25, and so I went ahead and accepted that. And I finally made $18.50. And this one sold pretty quickly. I would say it took about maybe 2 weeks. So this next item is this Andrew Mark lamb leather quilted leather jacket. And it was it was in pretty rough condition. It was very dirty and dingy, and luckily there weren't any major stains or tears or rips or anything, but it just needed a really good cleaning. And so I did a fix it video in which I went ahead and cleaned it up, and afterwards I thought it looked pretty good. I wasn't really thrilled with the jacket, and I was like, after I brought it home, I was like, oh, why did I buy this? And then I actually even took it over to my local buy-sell trade store, and they didn't accept it either. So that kind of made me feel like I made a mistake on this, because usually Crossroads would take anything leather. So, but what I decided to do was, just clean it up and see what would happen. And after I did, I actually really liked the item. So I went ahead and listed it, and it sold that very day. And it sold for the full asking price of $75. And so after fees and cost of goods, I made $58.50. So it was well worth the little extra effort of cleaning it up. Okay, so the next items were sold this past weekend, so Friday through Sunday. So this item is this Rei hiking pants, and they're the convertible ones where you can zip off the bottom portion of the leg so that you can have some shorts. And these have actually been selling pretty well for me. I've been I sold another pair, and I actually did go sourcing this past weekend, and I was able to pick up, I think, 2 more of these hiking pants. So these sold for $26, and I listed them for $30. So I finally earned $19.08. There is a new shipping, there was an increase on the shipping discount. So rather than the $5.95 where I would have to pay $1.50, we now have to pay $1.72. So happy to sell these outdoor garments. I think, with spring approaching, people are probably looking forward to, hiking and being outdoors. So, happy to sell hiking outdoor wear. Seems like there's quite a bit of that over at the bins, so it's great to pick up. Yeah, so I just also want to mention that I learned how to ship from McKenzie over at Mcthriftzie, and I will link one of her videos below. So, what she likes to use is this packing paper, and it's, used for moving. And I go ahead and pick up my packing paper from my local Home Depot. And what I like to do is I like to add a little bit of twine so that I can tie this little heart tag on the package, in which I write a little thank you note. And I also learned from McKenzie that you can pick up free shipping supplies from the USPS website. And what they do is you can go ahead and order it, and most of these items are free. Well, pretty much everything I get is free, and they deliver it to your doorstep. So it's really nice. Oh, and then another thing that I'd like to mention is I don't have a label printer, so I print out my labels and then I just trim them out, and then I add them to this little, I think it's called a small customs pouch. And actually, one of the viewers, Mimi, she mentioned this, that we could pick this up at the USPS website as well. So these are free as well. So thanks for that tip, Mimi. Then there. Okay, so the next item is this vintage Ferrado, and it's kind of like a chenille blazer. It's very soft, and it has this sort of paisley inside, paisley print on the inside. It's just a really interesting piece. And I sold this for $46. The list price was $55, and I finally earned $35.30. And again, I picked this up at the bins. This one was in really pretty rough condition, and it was mainly rough because it was very sort of dirty and dingy. So I took a chance on it and brought it home and thought maybe I could, sort of fix it up. And so really all I did was I hand washed it. And I kind of took a chance on it because I figured, this piece couldn't get any worse. And I hand washed it, and I think I ironed it, and it came out really nice. So I really hope that the buyer likes this piece. It's really a cool garment. Let's see, what's the best way? I'm gonna put it in a box, but I think this will work. Yeah. So I got this piece quite a while ago, and so I'm really happy that it moved. And I do like picking up vintage items. They're just so unusual, and since I'm a bin shopper, there are quite a few vintage pieces that you can pick up and find at the bins. And sometimes, actually I'm going to fold it a little bit smaller because it's a little bit wide. And, the trick is, to find the vintage pieces that don't have too many flaws. And sometimes that could be pretty hard to do. But luckily, this jacket was able to clean up pretty nicely. go. So, how has everybody's week been? Mine was pretty slow. I have a feeling it was kind of a combination of things. I mean, of course, usually there are a combination of, many different factors, but I think, one thing is February is, I think, traditionally a little bit of a slower month for sales, but also I didn't go sourcing until just this past weekend. So I didn't source for 3 weeks, and because I wanted to sort of take care of my death pile and my repair pile, as well as I wanted to do a little bit of cross listing. So I think that my death pile is comprised of things that I pretty much know I'm not really feeling great about. So they're not going to be like those items that I want to list right away. So that's one thing. And, well, actually, those are two different things. So I think that's what it was. And so that's kind of what made me think that it would be a great idea for me to go sourcing this last weekend and hopefully find some pieces that I was, really excited to list, and, that would hopefully sell pretty quickly. So, and then just to show you, this is the pouch that you can order from the post office website. And then you just take off the backing and stick it onto your box or your envelope. It does have this little adhesive tab on the top. And let's pull that off. So for now, I really like this method. Before I would just take some packing tape and tape the label on the top. But this way, since these are free, I'm just going ahead and using that. And I think it looks really, it looks a little bit more professional, I suppose. And it looks a little cleaner. So I like to do that. But, eventually, I might get a label printer. So, but for now, it works out really well. Works out well for me. Okay. So this is another interesting item. It is this, I think it's called Natural Life, if I remember. Yeah, Natural Life. And it's this really pretty linen, what I think is linen, because it's missing its material tag as well as its size tag. And I think that's what kind of held me up on listing this, because it's actually in really great condition. It's this really cute overall jumpsuit with super wide legs, really pretty pink terracotta color. And let's see, where is this? Oh, so I sold this for $22 and I listed it for $30. So I finally earned $16.10. And I got this at the bins. I really like the style. And I did actually pick this up during winter. So this is one of the pieces that I thought I could sit on for a while, because I felt like, with linen pieces, it might be better to list it closer to spring. But I was really kind of, hesitant about it, just because I didn't know, the size and the material makeup. But I finally just decided, it feels like linen and possibly cotton, and the size is so oversized. I'm going to, say here's the measurements, and that it kind of will fit, you know, most sizes. So that's kind of what I did. And it got a lot of attention. So this is, you know, I'm happy that I finally did list it. And it sold fast. So it got a lot of attention, and got a lot of questions, a lot of likes. And so when I got the offer, I said, oh, you know, I'm gonna take it. So yeah, so happy it sold. It's funny, I was watching Jack Valentine's, one of his videos, and there's Jack and Ryan. They're this really super fun couple, and they make really great and fun videos. I love the way they bounce off of each other, and you know, I learn a lot from them. So I'll also link their channel below. But they live in Minnesota. They're like, it's freezing over there. I think at one point Jack kind of said, yeah, I live in Antarctica. So much different than where, you know, where I live, which is the San Francisco Bay Area, which is probably about 65 degrees today. So it's really sunny, nice, and it feels like spring already. But yeah, so different parts of the country are experiencing totally different kinds of weather situations. So there's still hope that some of my winter items will sell. Let's see. Okay. So, I guess I'll do this one. Okay, so the next item is this Peter Millar merino wool and silk blend sweater. It has a quarter zip up, and in this really soft, nice fabric makeup. And this I also purchased at the bins, and this one actually, I don't know if it's because maybe Peter Millar is like I think it's a brand that a lot of golfers like to get, and I don't know if it's because the previous owner who had this wore this golfing, but it had a very strong sort of deodorant smell, and it wasn't like a dirty smell, but it was a very sort of, you know, that deodorant kind of almost perfumey smell. So I washed this probably 3 times, and you know, the first one was really gentle hand wash, and I used maybe like Woolite, and you know, I still noticed the smell. And so then I gave it another wash. I think maybe I used a little bit of OxyClean or something, and you know, the smell was still there. And so finally I Googled it and said, you know, how do we get rid of a strong odor, and they recommended vinegar. So I used white vinegar and really soaked it in there. And then after that did, you know, another hand wash, and that really helped a lot. So, so this item is very, very clean. And hopefully the buyer, you know, loves this sweater. So. Okay. So I don't mind picking, oh, I don't know if I mentioned this. I'm going to just mention that I sold it for $25. I had listed it for $40, and I finally earned $18.50. And, you know, you might say that I went through a lot of effort on this. It was a big project, and, you know, was it worth it, the $18.50? And, you know, since I'm a relatively new reseller, I go ahead and, you know, if I have a project, and I don't really go into the intention of having a project, it's more that I pick up the item and then I notice, you know, something about it. Like in this case, that, you know, sort of perfumey smell. And I didn't notice at the bins because, you know, we have our masks on. I'm, you know, not gonna sort of do the sniff test while I'm at the bins, usually. But yeah, so I go ahead and I'll, you know, go ahead and repair or fix or, you know, try to make the item better. And, you know, I was totally ready to put this into the donate pile. But then I was just saying, you know, let me just try one more time and see if I can make it better. So, and so after all of that, I went ahead and listed it, and it sold that day. I got an offer, and I just accepted the offer and said, yes, yes, you can have this, and I hope you love it. Okay. So I also want to give a shout out to some people who have, you know, written comments, and I really appreciate all of you who wrote comments, and they are Seiko, Amber, Maria Felicity, and Colleen, sorry. Yeah, so thank you so much for all of your comments. They're really great. I learn a lot from you, and also it helps me motivate me. So thanks so much. And in particular, Colleen, she asked me quite a few questions, so I thought I'd try to address her questions. And first of all, I'll just kind of go over this. My daughter, Kelsey, I have two daughters, Kelsey and Emmy, and my older daughter, Kelsey, she likes to make jewelry. So she makes these earrings, and I'm going to just hold it up like this, and then I'll also put it on one of these sides. So she makes it out of polymer clay, and she makes quite a few, so much that, you know, she's giving them away. And so finally I said, well, why don't we just try to, you know, list these on Poshmark, and actually Poshmark, Etsy, and Depop. And so this pair sold. So this pair sold, and it sold for $12, which is my list price, and we earned $9.05. So put this in here. Oh, I think what I need to do, oh yeah, and then I want to put this tag on there as well. Okay. Yeah, so Colleen had asked some questions, which I thought were really great questions. So one of the questions was, let's see, oh, she asked if the bins were made up of items that didn't sell at the Goodwill stores. And from what I can see is it's a mixture of items from the store as well as newly donated items. And it's a mixture, and I believe because there's so much new donated items that the stores can't accommodate all of it. So it is a mixture, and I think, you know, we resellers get excited about, you know, sort of like fresh inventory. But I do actually find, I do pick up some items that were from the stores as well. And you can tell because they have the little colored little tags on them. But yeah, so that was a great question. And another question was, so my experience, she wanted to know what my experience is at the bins, and like what newbies or people who have never been there before, what they should expect. And I think all bins are a little different. At least that's what I can see from, you know, watching other YouTubers and other resellers. And so the one that I like to go to frequently, they don't have it. So some of them are timed. So you go and you stand at one person per bin, and they time it for like 2 minutes, and then you shift and you move over to like clockwise. And so there might be 12 bins all around. Is there 12? Yeah, maybe 10 bins or 12 bins, and then you just rotate. And then after you're done with your rotation, you go and you pay. And then they let in the next 12 people. So that's one style. And so what I would recommend for new people is to go ahead and try, you know, all the bins in your area and see which one you prefer, because since they are different, they have different vibes. I would do that, and that's what I try to do. I know the crunching is loud. Oh shoot, let me get this, I forgot. So this is another type of box. It's a small flat rate box, and I'm going to just close up the tabs a little bit so it doesn't open up. But yeah, I would go to different, you know, as many as you can, and I still have to go to a couple more, but they're like an hour away, and so I just, you know, been opting to go to the ones that are closest to me, and which are, you know, I'm lucky because, you know, there's two, and I understand that, you know, some people don't have a bin that's close by, so it's, you know, much harder for them to get to. But things that I would recommend is definitely, I prefer to get there as soon as it opens, because to me, that's when there's the least amount of people, you know. And if it opens at 7 in the morning, you stand in line, and some people will bring like chairs and, you know, sort of almost camp out there and wait in line. And then the other thing is, you know, to bring some water and maybe a snack, because you might be there you can be there as long as you want. But I tend to be there, I'm there from probably 3 to 5 hours. I haven't stayed all day yet. I've been thinking maybe one day I might just kind of camp out there and maybe bring a little folding chair, but I haven't done that yet. But, you know, 3 to 5 hours is a big chunk of time. So I would do that. And then I also prefer not to wear gloves because I like to feel the items when I'm searching through the bins, and that to me helps a lot because you can feel certain materials that are really, quality materials. And the other thing that I do is that I try to be super respectful of the employees there as well as the other resellers. And we have regulars, and at first it's kind of intimidating, or it was intimidating for me because the regulars are there and they all know each other and everything, and I was worried about, am I not supposed to do this or that, or but get there early, get a cart. If you're there early, you get a cart. If you come late, you don't get a cart. That's what I've learned. And be really nice and respectful to the other resellers, because they're going to be like your coworkers in a way. You're going to be there all the time. You're going to see them. So and as well as the workers. I like to talk to the workers as much as I can, and and it's really nice because we're all kind of all in it together. So anyways, and and also I kind of made the decision for this YouTube is to actually not disclose the actual location of the bins that I like to frequent, and it's mainly to sort of protect the regulars, resellers that are there, because this is their bread and butter livelihood, and I don't want to be the one to blow up their sourcing area, or their place that they source from. So but I can say, if you leave me a comment and you guess which one I go to, I will let you know. So I hope you understand, and if it was just up to me, I would do it, but I just feel like I need to kind of respect the other resellers there. And really there's only in my area there are 4, so you could take a guess. And I do like to go to a couple, and I, like I said, I do want to go to another one, the other 2 as well, just to see, I want to see if how the experience is, and then maybe the items, and see if they have different kinds of items. So, but I don't know, I wonder if the area makes a huge difference, because I think they're the bins are gathering the extra inventory from all over the place, not just from that one city. So I don't know. And I think another thing to kind of expect is that it's hit or miss. Some days are really, really good. You'll find like amazing things, and some days not so good. So, I think that's what makes shopping at the bins kind of so exciting, is because it is kind of like you never know what to expect. So there. Okay, and then I need a tag. Oh. Okay, so I don't know exactly where I left off, but I think what I'll do is I will open this up. And I'll have to start all over again. Okay. talking too much. Yeah, this piece is a Madewell long line cardigan, and it's lightweight cardigan, so it's great for transitioning into spring. And I listed it for $30 and it sold for $18, and I made $12.90. So I don't know what else is interesting about the bins. There hasn't been any major fights or anything. There's been, you know, yelling. People have yelled at each other. And the reason for yelling a lot of time is crowding on, you know, because we're all standing, you know, especially when a new rotation comes in, you're waiting for the bins to be rolling in, and you're standing elbow to elbow with, you know, 20, 25 people, other resellers, and there could be crowding or a little bit of pushing. So, you know, there's been yelling because of that. And also, another one is when people take things out of other people's carts, which I don't understand why anyone would take something out of another person's cart. That seems very strange. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I can understand if you, like at the grocery store, if you think that's your cart and you're wheeling it away, but I mean, some people have actually taken items out of the cart and put them into their cart. So, you know, in that case, what happens is you find like a big sheet or a blanket or a big towel and you cover your cart so that when you're not there, you know, people will, it's a little bit harder to just remove things out of that cart. And sometimes people do it just, you know, not to be malicious. It's just an accident, you know, that they might take the cart or something. So, yeah. There. Okay, and then, so yeah, I did go to Source this past weekend. I went to the Goodwill store, and I did pick up a few items, even though, you know, I tend to like, I'm a little bit nervous about picking up items because of the cost, because I feel like I have to be very, very sure about what I'm picking up. And I also went to the bins, and I spent, what did I spend? About, I was there for quite a while, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I was there for 5 hours. And, you know, I tried this, I tried to be very selective on what I picked up. So, oh, and this is the last item, and it is a Garnet Hill linen shirt. And it's actually long length, so it's also like tunic length. And it's 100% linen in this nice neutral taupe color. And in my last Fix It video, this is one of the shirts that I had ironed. So there was like, I don't know how many, I think I had like 5 linen shirts, button-down shirts that I just needed to iron. And they were so wrinkled. So, and it really showed me that, you know, thank goodness I did this, because otherwise this item wouldn't have sold, right? So, really have to list things. I started watching some videos by Chris over at Daily Refinement, and he's actually a high volume eBay seller, and I don't do eBay. I had one experience and it wasn't a great one, but you know, I haven't, I don't know, broken down to like do it yet. So I haven't decided to make that leap to eBay, but he has a YouTube channel, and he gives really interesting advice and different perspective on reselling. And I will definitely link one of his videos below. But what have I learned from him? His advice is to list 10 items a day. And I think on eBay, and as well as other platforms, I believe, the more you list, and if you're consistent like every day, it keeps you high up on the search in SEO. So that's really important, so you know that your customers will find your item. And then he also really advocates for selective sourcing, especially for people with small stores. And selective sourcing means, you know, finding items that will sell quickly, but also for a higher dollar amount. And so, you know, really interesting. And speaking of dollar amount, this shirt, I don't know if I said this. I think I did. Yeah, I might have. It sold for $21 and I listed it for $25. So I finally earned $15.08. Yeah. And then after cost of goods, I made $13.58. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, this being selective, I guess, is really important, like especially if you're a smaller store. If you're a large high volume store, you can have, you can sell a lot of little things and, make a lot. But anyways, I do not want to be high volume or big because I don't want to have the big storage space that is necessary. But then yet, I kind of worry that means that I'm, not going to make enough for a living to make a living, and I'm not planning on making tons of money, just enough to live. And so I don't know. But, on the other hand, if I buy items that people want to purchase, then my turnover is great, and then I won't be storing things for a long time. So that's the thought, So anyways, really interesting. And then, the other interesting thing that Chris says that's, different from other resellers that I've listened to is that he doesn't really believe in cross-listing. He really believes in focusing and being good at one platform. So, in his case, it's eBay. And to me, that totally makes sense because eBay is so huge and it's kind of a difficult one to navigate. So, even like the website is difficult for me to navigate. So, it totally makes sense. But anyways, just interesting to hear his perspective. It's it's different. So, and I appreciate hearing different things. So it's that, and so yeah. So I think my strategies for March will be trying to be very selective and pick up items that consciously try to pick up items that I think could sell for $30 or more. I think I'm going to see how that goes. I'm also going to try to list between 5 to 10 items per day, and that is another interesting thing that Chris does is that I tend to come back from the bins and then I'll have 40 items, and then I process them, wash them, you know, whatever, and then steam them, and then I'll photograph all of them, and then I put the, you know, so I do all of this. So then there's a big chunk of days that I don't list at all, and then I do list, and it's like, you know, many in one day, or 1, 2, 3 days. So I'm going to try this new method of, you know, preparing from start to finish 5 to 10 items per day, and, you know, process them, photograph them, list them all in one day. So we'll see how that goes, and if the consistency helps my sales. So anyways, I made 15 sales this past week, and my total was $511. And so after fees and cost of goods, I made $332, which is not a great week, but, you know, we'll see how March is, and, you know, hopefully it'll pick up for me. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, you know, please subscribe and hit the like button. And until the next one, take care. Bye-bye.